everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm in a beautiful setting today for a lovely wintry walk, hence why I'm all wrapped up. And I today am bringing one of my favourite topics, just put it like that, about my top 5 reasons of why being vegan makes you happy. So, gonna get straight in. Number 1. So the first thing that I want to talk about is hormones and antibiotics. Let's just put it simply. So straight in with antibiotics. Antibiotics are given to animals, and it's no secret that they're given to animals because they're kept in vast numbers together in a very unnatural environment, and when they're that close to each other they pass on diseases easily. So antibiotics, antifungals, antiparasitic, they're all given to them in very readily. That isn't something that's is very different to us. Our stop of giving antibiotics out so easily, that hasn't happened in the food industry. So although you might not be taking them for that cold that hasn't gone away for a month, you are, if you're eating meat, you are ingesting those antibiotics. So that's the first thing to think about. Secondly, I want to talk about hormones. So hormones, again, are given really readily to animals. You think about that growth cycle of a chicken has been sped up a lot. So we want that chicken that's going to be a lovely juicy chicken thigh or chicken breast on your plate, make that lovely Nando's chicken. That is going to have been given hormones to make it grow quicker. This increases the yield for the farmer, for the company, for the organisation that's making money from the animal. Now that doesn't fare well for the chicken. So I'm just touching on chickens to start with. But if you think about chickens, have you ever looked at a chicken and seen the dark marks on the bottom? That's the hocks of the chicken. Now those dark marks are burn marks, and that is because the chicken is stood in its own excrement in a barn. If you've ever been into a chicken barn, I've done this as part of my campaigning and volunteering past, when I used to do this from Compassion in World Farming. This is absolutely disgusting. It's very, very acidic. When the chicken grows really quickly, its legs can't handle it, its bones break, and it ends up sitting in that excrement. So those lovely burn marks, even on a free-range chicken, this is very possible, and I've seen it all over. I look at this stuff. That means that chicken has probably even sat in its own crap. Not nice. Hormones, again, number 2 of the most kind of widely known about hormones. Hormones given to beef cattle. Now, I'm going to show you a little picture here. Do either of these things look natural? I'm just going to leave that there. There's no secret here that hormones may be used in the creation of some of these beings. So, okay, we also just need to touch on fish. So they always get left out. I have so many people write to me and say, yeah, but I only eat fish, I'm pescatarian. Now, I'm not knocking anyone for their choice, but I would love everybody to be really, really informed about what they are eating. And this post today is specifically about how it makes you feel happier. So I'm not going to go into all the other ideas and reasons why being vegan is amazing. So there are many, and this will be a separate video, and you can look back at my past videos too. I'll put the link here. But fish, obviously, are linked to mercury and heavy metal buildup. So if you think that all that is put in the water, they're in the water, they're eating the algae, the plankton, whatever out of the sea, that ends up building up in their tissues. Now, heavy metals are one thing that we cannot get rid of in our body. So you don't process that. Your body can't process it. It just ends up in your kidneys and your liver. So it's something really, really seriously to think about, because that can not only affect your physical health, but also your mood. I bet you didn't know that. So number 2, we're moving on swiftly. Saving animals. It's superhero time. This is my favourite part. So do you know how many animals are killed in the UK every year? So sorry for my US friends. I haven't got the numbers with me today. Again, I didn't want this to be a super long post. When are my videos ever not super long? But anyway, I looked at a kill count, really, really horrible, but I look at this regularly, and I like to kind of look at where it's going and if it's reducing, and where vegans were taking over the world, and is it going down? Okay, so the kill count up until today is 5.9 billion animals being killed only in 2021, this year, only in the UK. 5.9 billion. Just think about how many animals that is. That's nearly as many people as there are in the world killed in 1 year, in one country. If that alone isn't enough to make you think about your impact, because I also have people say, yeah, well, I don't eat that many. Well, if you're on an average UK meat eater eats 26 chickens in a year. I won't get into all the other numbers because there's many. I will put them below this post so you can have a read, but that's a lot of chickens. And if you've ever met a chicken, they're pretty cool, and I really wouldn't want to be shooting that chicken myself. So maybe you're cool with that, but we also have to think about you're not only saving the animals from being killed, but you're saving them from suffering. And I'm going to come on to that a little bit more in one of the later numbers in point number 4. Okay, so number 3, how this affects you. So apart from not eating hormones, not eating antibiotics, and knowing that they're coming into you through that animal ingestion, we're also talking about being a superhero and actually saving animals. Who doesn't feel good saving an animal's life? If you've ever swerved a badger on the road and realised that you just didn't kill him, you'll know that feeling. And also, think about someone running over your dog. It's not nice, is it? We'd be pretty upset. So we've got to apply that to all animals. And I get really, really happy. And I actually had someone contact me the other day and tell me, and as well as Sean also telling me this, my partner, that he actually feels better knowing that he's not killing those animals. Okay, so point number 3 is gut health. So, food. Food affects your mood. I'm going to do a particular post just about this topic, so we're just going to run over this briefly today. But we know now that over 77% of people are intolerant to dairy. Okay, so that means it inflames you. Now, when your body internally is inflamed, you might not think that that's a problem. You might think it's normal. But that is affecting you, yeah? That is affecting your mood. Your gut is coined as your second brain and really, really affects your mood. Trust me, as somebody who has suffered with candida imbalance for many years, I know that when that flares up, I am grumpy as anything. It really, really does. And you can feel like you don't know why, and it's impossible. It's really, really not a nice place to be. Now, I've recently worked with some people on my coaching. So my women's health coaching includes what you're eating and what you're doing and exercising, but food. And 2 of these ladies went vegan, and they both reported to me an absolutely remarkable change in their mood just within the first week of changing onto a vegan diet. So if you think about that food, not only dairy inflaming you, which is happening with 77% of us, we might not even realise because we've got so used to it. And by the way, dairy isn't for you, it's for a baby cow, just putting that out there. But yeah, we don't make lactase. That's the thing. We don't naturally make that. We're not supposed to eat cow or drink cow's milk. So it inflames us. And then you think about meat being in your gut. Yeah. So again, meat being in your gut is digesting that food, and beef, particularly red meat, sits in your gut for longer than it would if it was vegetables. So that sits in it longer, it needs longer to digest. That means more fermentation, that means unhappy bacteria, that means buildup of the wrong types of bacteria, and that means, again, more unhappiness from your gut. It also means more likelihood of bowel cancer, and let's not joke about that. That's not something that any of us should be making ourselves susceptible to. Just a quick, not a tip, a fact. We actually have a very similar digestive system, not to a dog, which is a canine and a I can't think of the word. Help me out. Carnivore. Not a elephant, which is a herbivore, but a frugivore, like a gorilla. Our digestive system is much longer than that of a carnivore. So a dog eats the meat and it goes straight through. That's to avoid that very, very deadly and toxic fermentation process. We don't have that. Your long intestine and your short intestine, both much, much longer than that. And so that gives vegetables and seeds and fruit and nuts time to go through your digestive system and have time to break down. Meat gets stuck, takes a lot longer, has to sit there. Have you ever eaten a massive steak and then realised that it hasn't come out of you for the next couple of days? That is why, and we're not made for that. So that then feeds in all that toxic chemicals produced by that bacteria, I can't speak, are leached out into your blood and make you unhappy and feel unwell. Okay, so inflammation. Number 4, you can see that I'm really trying to whiz through this. I've got a timer in front of me. This is a new practice for me. Number 4 is about energy. That is what number 4 is. Okay, so this is a little bit of a different one. So it is now proven that we are vibrational, energetic beings. So we're much more than our physical body. Loads of us already know that. Ancient people knew this. Buddha knew this. The ancient Egypts knew this. All of these different societies and cultures knew that we belong to the earth. We're part of nature. We're very much more affected than just our physical touch body. We're not just here. So we are a vibration, yeah? Now, what do you think your vibration is if you're suffering and in fear? It's much lower, yeah? So we can work to elevate our vibration in ourselves, doing good things, looking after ourselves, exercising, getting out in nature, being around positive people, living out our purpose in our life. But that all really, really, really falls short if we're ingesting low vibrational food. Now, the vibration of food has been tested, is now able to be tested, and meat is not only at the lowest, is very, very low, especially underneath vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds that have a very high energy, fresh kind of, think about getting that vitality, vital, we're talking about vitality. It's also dead, yeah, you're eating dead stuff. So you wouldn't eat a rotting vegetable, you just wouldn't. Like, you smell that kind of, you know, the way the cucumber goes when it's rotting, you wouldn't eat that. But when you're eating meat, you are eating that. You're essentially eating the rotting animal. So already it's very low vibration because it's dead. It's not bringing vital life force to you anymore. We then think about how that animal has been in its life. Now, you are what you eat, and so is that animal. So if that animal has suffered its whole life, been in fear, watched its friends get shot in the head. Now that happens even in a good slaughterhouse. It's been living in cramped conditions. It's basically been miserable and has had a lot of suffering. Let's go back to that chicken that's lying in its own shit. Now that isn't good, is it? Now that energy is vibrating, and it's in its tissue. That vibration, that suffering makes its tissues. That's not even talking about the crap that we feed animals. I'm just going to pop a little video here of some lovely pig food being made. Now, that pig food makes that pig, and then you eat that pig. So basically, essentially, you're eating that food because the pig makes its muscles out of the food it eats, and then we eat that. So you've got the suffering and the low vibration of fear and suffering, and then you've got all the horrible food and things they're given, other pigs, other cows, crappy plastic and cardboard, and just very, very low frequency, low energy foods that makes the pig, and then you eat that. So it's no wonder our world is filled with fear. And I'm not kidding you, this really, really is, this probably should be number one. This is a big one, okay? This is really, really big. We all need to be lifting our vibration. The planet is awakening, and eating suffering causes you suffering. You then make your muscles and your body from that. It's not good. Okay, so last but not least, number 5. Now this is a happy one. This is about Veggie Delights or veggie variety. So there are tons of things you can eat as a vegan. I hear people say veganism is extreme, it's boring, what do you eat? Really, honestly, just pick up a book or come and watch my videos. I will tell you what you can eat. I'm going to list some ideas of really funky things, but down below. But vegetables are incredible. There is so much variety. There's all different seasons in different countries, and even if you just eat locally, think that the earth is producing the vegetables that will grow at that time that also fit us. So in the winter, it's no secret or not just by chance that we can grow through the winter more kind of root vegetables and things like that, because we've got heavier, slower energies in the winter. We're more hibernating, we're starting to slow down. Those vegetables suit our energy at that time. And there's just so many varieties of legumes, pulses, nuts, seeds. You can just get everything you possibly need from vegetables. And I've been vegan for many, many years, like 8 or 9 years now. And before that, I was vegetarian for many years, since I was a teenager. And this honestly is a big change for me. I eat everything. I eat all different varieties. And I know that people think that vegans just eat processed food. But let's just debunk that myth right here and right now. Meat is processed. Have you ever watched those videos? Cue the video where they're injecting water and fluid and colouring into a chicken. Not only talking about what they're putting into the meat at the end goal, but what has gone into that meat to start with. And then a sausage, that's processed. A Kiev, that's processed. Even the chicken that you're eating in a curry that's a ready meal, that's crap still. So yeah, things like soya and things shouldn't be ingested in a processed way very often. But for most vegans, okay, you're starting on your journey, you might eat that, but most people are eating things from the earth, really simple. It's not just about going vegan and eating the cheese and the same kind of unhealthy things that we were eating before. The idea is that we find a wealth of food to eat that's cheaper. It is cheaper. I don't want anyone to tell me that it's not, because I know it is. I've done the research. And it's easier. It's also more bioavailable for your body. So amino acids are more bio-ready for you to eat. So rather than you eating the amino acids and the pig or chicken makes the protein, and then you eat the protein and then have to break it back down to amino acids for your body to use, you just eat the amino acids. Think about all the nutrients in vegetables. There's a reason why your mum made you eat those greens when you were a kid. Okay, so I think I've covered those points quite well. I'm going to make a video debunking some myths in my next video, because there are a lot of myths around veganism, and I don't want this to be like heavy or kind of, I want veganism to be something fun. It is fun, it's good for you, it's good for the planet, it makes you happy. That's the overarching theme of this video. It does make you happier. I've had many clients that I've helped go vegan, and the thing that they're surprised about, that I don't even mention, is that they're going to feel happier being vegan. Think of all that conscious, that's clear, is one big thing. Yeah, that's point number 2 about saving all the animals. Even that alone is really big for a lot of people. People love animals, but somehow the animals that put on our plate are put into a different category. Well, let's bring them over here and just make them happy and make us happy. So I hope you enjoyed this today. If you enjoyed the content, please drop a like and do subscribe to my channel. There's going to be loads more of this stuff coming up. I can't wait to share with you. Obviously, this is a very passionate topic to me, so please do write comments. Let's have a discussion. If this is something you want to ask about, hit me up. I'm here. I love talking about this all day long. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my walk with my cameraman, with my very handsome cameraman. And I hope you all have a great day, guys. Bye.